Dijonai Carrington and Satou Sabally beef lives on.
Dijonai Carrington has another major situation in the WNBA game.
She was out there hacking again versus Phoenix. And not only was she out there hacking and doing all of that stuff, let's look at her trying to interrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satou Sabally and Mercury players. Let's look at this nonsense. You guys need to put a stop to this. Y'all need to put a stop to this.
Dijonai Carrington is ridiculous, bro.
Dijonai was terrible.
Dijonai Carrington, what are we doing?
Dudge Carrington just caused mayhem once more by attacking Satou Sabally and interrupting the Mercury's post-game meeting.
Look, she's right here, and she's just jawing off. I don't know what Dijonai is saying right here, but they're having a little standoff here. They're having to get between each other. I don't know exactly what was said, but they were trying to make sure that they didn't get close to each other, because I don't know, maybe some hands would have been thrown.
With rising talents like Caitlin Clark attempting to advance the league, the video went viral in a matter of minutes, and now fans are demanding that she be suspended. If you agree with this kind of drama, please stop commenting for Caitlin.
She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Let's examine what actually transpired. It began when the Phoenix Mercury gave the Dallas Wings yet another humbling defeat, bringing them to a terrible 1-10 record, just as the final buzzer sounded.
You guys are 1-10. Why are you on the court after the games starting drama? Like, what are you doing? The WNBA needs to clean up this mess.
Things then became hectic as the Mercury players were celebrating in their team huddle. Carrington, who was already angry from the game, headed straight for the Mercury circle.
Paige is trying to grab Dijonai back. Maisha Hines-Allen is trying to stop Dijonai, and Dijonai's walking towards their team. And Hines-Allen's like, yeah, no.
Security stopped when she stormed across the court, glaring at Satou Sabally with her trademark sneer, which she wears whenever she's preparing to stir the pot, captured on uninvited and obviously aggressive cameras.
How does WNBA security not usher them off of the floor? How are y'all allowing them to stay on the floor that long when you see it's becoming hostile?
Coworkers scrambled Paige Viewers, who had just scored 35 points in what ought to have been the night's main event, and had to play peacemaker while attempting to physically stop cameras from recording the action.
So right here, this Satou Sabally, right? So Satou Sabally is in Dallas. Now we all know she used to play for Dallas. So it wasn't a welcome back. Dijonai Carrington immediately put her hands up to the camera. Now this this scene right here is going viral everywhere. Dijonai Carrington putting her hand up to the camera, really telling the camera she don't want nothing to do with them, bro.
Carrington refused to back down when Alyssa Thomas and others intervened to separate the players. She had to be physically restrained while shouting across the court, disregarding the fact that her team had just been humiliated once more.
Look, Dijonai, she's still trying to get over there and start talking to her. Look, she don't even want the camera in her face. Look, she pissed.
For WNBA fans who pay close attention, this was not an isolated outburst. Just a few weeks ago, Carrington gained notoriety for karate chopping Skylar Diggins' head during a fast break and pulling another player to the ground by her hair. Mirrors, fans, and insiders have complained to the league about her violent play style, but nothing has been done about it. Now, following yet another pointless altercation, Carrington went too far and interrupted an opponent's team huddle in a clear act of animosity that was captured on national television.
Dijonai Carrington, I knew it, Satou Sabally words for each other after the game. Dijonai Carrington want the camera on her and Paige. Well, didn't want the camera on her and Paige. Dijonai Carrington loved taking contested Arabic layups, missing.
However, they aren't putting up with it this time. Twitter, sports, and Reddit. This incident wasn't just about a post-game huddle, it was personal. The tension between Dijonai Carrington and Satou Sabally didn't start in that moment. It had been building for years, from their heated one-on-one matchups in the unrivaled league to trash talk that spilt over from the court onto social media. YouTube exploded calls for suspension, demands for accountability, memes disparaging her stats and behavior, and most importantly, frustration not only with Carrington, but also with the league that this is a rivalry, not just a sporadic flare-up.
Satou and Dijonai spent the whole Unrivaled. They spent the entire Unrivaled 1v1 beating the crap out of each other.
A messy one, and based on several stories and viewpoints, it reached a boiling point in front of the cameras this time. Sabally may have delivered the fatal blow by making a small but provocative gesture towards Carrington that was purportedly a drinking motion.
The Satou was constantly telling Dijonai to keep drinking, keep drinking. Dijonai can try and knock players' heads off every other possession, put on risk for injury, but Satou tells him to keep drinking.
Fans are now speculating that the gesture may have been more than just trash talk. It may have crossed a line, but the situation gets even more complicated. It was an indirect shot, but it was a very personal one. It implied that Carrington hadn't come into the game focused, possibly even implying that she had partied the night before. To make matters worse, this gesture resonated because it followed Carrington's recent emotional struggles following the death of her grandfather, a man she was keel the evening before the game. Carrington's live Instagram stream was informal and lighthearted, showcasing her teammate and girlfriend Nicole Smith. The show ended early and there was no evidence of alcohol.
She had kind of made like a drinking gesture towards the Dallas Wings bench, okay? And you can see Dijonai Carrington get up in frustration like, you know, I can't believe she said that.
Even teammates like Iraqi Omboy and Paige Buchers made comments like, "Go to bed, we have a game." She was obviously reminded to maintain her focus, but the damage was done the following day, with Carrington already feeling agitated following yet another blowout loss. Sabally's one gesture was enough to turn what should have been a brief post-game cooldown into a full-blown viral moment. Not innocent in all of this, Satou Sabally has built a reputation for starting arguments without fully participating. She is cunning and adept at making passive-aggressive remarks before leaving the scene. We've seen this happen against Cardozo against Copper, and now against Carrington. She knows when to use her words and how to maintain a safe distance to prevent repercussions. It's a mental game that she plays well, but Carrington reacts loudly and publicly emotionally, and this time it backfired. Hard cameras captured every moment of her meltdown, from the moment she got up and approached Sabally's huddle to her teammates physically holding her back to the shocked and uncomfortable expression on Paige Buer's face as she attempted to protect Carrington from more humiliation. This is where it gets worse because the real victims here aren't just the WNBA's reputation. They're young players like Paige and Caitlin Clark who are trying to usher in a new era of excellence and maturity in the league. Paige Buchers just scored 35 points and demonstrated that he might be a franchise player.
Paige Buchers played very well. 37 minutes in her return game, 35 points, 6 rebounds, 13 for 19 from the field, 5 for 7 from the three-point line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
Had a teammate's meltdown overpower her entire performance. Rather than headlines celebrating her performance, social media was inundated with videos of Carrington being restrained, yelling, and charging at another team. This is draining for supporters, teammates, and the league as a whole, and it's not just about one incident either. It's about a culture that's being accepted. The WNBA has remained mute despite Carrington's frequent instances of dubious behavior, which include violent fouls and disruptive sideline behavior.
Dijonai Carrington behavior is starting to look a little spooky. WNBA is literally allowing her to bully, attack, say whatever, do whatever she wants to any damn player.
She is undoubtedly passionate, but when that passion frequently turns into animosity, it is a liability rather than a sign of competition, because it causes fans to wonder if the league is more concerned with drama or basketball at a time when the WNBA is finally expanding, in part because of players like Caitlin Clark who are introducing millions of new fans to the sport. The league cannot afford to continue allowing this to happen. The question now isn't whether Carrington should be punished. Rather, it's how many more instances it will take for the WNBA to recognize that allowing these frequent disruptions to continue unchecked isn't just unfair, it's self-sabotage. Carrington's outburst did more than just divert her team's focus. It sent a message that antics still garner more attention than athleticism, which is the exact opposite of the direction. Stars like Boston and Clark Buchers are trying to lead this league in.
All right, WNBA, when is enough enough? When is enough enough? Y'all have continued to allow Dijonai Carrington to run around like a menace. Yes, I said it. You guys have allowed Dijonai Carrington to continue to run around like a menace.
DJI Carrington's predicament is currently more than a single instance of bad sportsmanship.
Who hurt you, Dijonai? Ever since the season tipped off, you have been a one-person wrecking ball, wrecking havoc on the floor.
This isn't just a heated moment anymore. Carrington has established a pattern that players, fans, and analysts are all noticing, and it threatens to undermine everything the league is working to build. Let's break it down clearly. Carrington has established a reputation that goes far beyond being a bad defender or a fierce competitor. It's become a test for the WNBA itself, a test of integrity, accountability, and whether the league is truly ready to evolve into a professional powerhouse that can stand alongside the NBA, not just in talent, but also in standards.
Paige Becker's still playing defense. Satou Sabally is not paying her no mind, right? Why would somebody who can actually play ball give so much attention to somebody who can't really play ball? Yeah, Dijonai, don't look at me. Don't look at me, cameras. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Yeah, Dijonai, she just loves the spotlight. She just loves the spotlight. There's Paige following her around because she knows, oh, this lady's unhinged.
She has been involved in several on-court incidents in a matter of weeks, including karate chopping Skylar Diggins during a fast break, dragging Sarah Ashley Barker to the ground by her hair during a fast break, and now charging into an opponent's huddle following a loss. This is recklessness, not competitive edge, and when a player is known more for drama than for stats or skills, it indicates that something serious is amiss. With the rise of Caitlin Clark, Paige Buers, Angel Reese, and others, the WNBA has attracted a whole new wave of mainstream attention.
Paige Beckers and Dijonai Carrington are like this. They are so tight. Paige Beckers was actually shielding the cameras away from Dijonai Carrington. Okay, now Alyssa Thomas was trying to console her because, again, that's her baby. Alyssa Thomas low-key is Dijonai Carrington's mama. They were together along with DeWanna Bonner, Brianna Jones, Ty Harris, Veronica Burton, and the likes of them, and up there in Connecticut for like 4 years straight, 4 seasons straight. So they still have that very close bond.
These days, every game may make the news. Every viral moment serves as an example of what elite women's basketball looks like. So when a player like Carrington consistently steals the show for all the wrong reasons, it impacts not only her, but also the league's reputation as a whole, which is when things get out of hand. Carrington isn't just acting out, she's doing it with no repercussions, which is what's making fans and commentators angry. In almost every incident, including the most recent altercation with Satou Sabally, the league has either delayed its response or done nothing at all that would send a real message. As a result, she continues to dominate headlines with behavior that negatively represents the sport, giving the impression that the WNBA is lax about discipline, and that as long as a player gets clicks or attention, it doesn't matter. However, for players like Caitlin Clark, this sends the worst possible message. Since joining the league, Clark has faced constant criticism, including deliberate hard fouls, disrespect, jealousy, and unrelenting media attention. Despite this, she maintains her composure, takes the hits, leads by example, and plays through the noise. This is the exact type of behavior that the WNBA should be highlighting.
Mercury ended up pulling it out. They're 7-4 right now, still looking like a deadly team, and the Wings dropped to 1-10.
Instead, players like Carrington make every game a spectacle, damaging their team's reputation and casting their own teammates, like Paige Buers, in a negative light. They also pull the WNBA into a petty drama pit that belongs in high school, not a professional league.
The Dallas Wings put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA. The worst possible role model you can have is dirtbag Dijonai Carrington. Dijonai Carrington following Satou Sabally into her huddle, jawing at Satou Sabally. There's Paige Beckers, as you can see, number 5, playing defense like, oh, I didn't know that I was going to get into this whole entire mess.
The Dallas Wings are not the only team affected by this. The entire league, coaches, sponsors, networks that are finally taking the WNBA seriously, and fans, especially the millions who began tuning in because of Caitlin Clark, are wondering if this is truly the direction of women's basketball. Don't forget about the locker room repercussions either. How do you foster camaraderie on a team where one player constantly makes headlines for interfering during games, starting fights, and bringing extra baggage? How can Bookers and other youthful talent develop when they are often filling in for teammates who lack self-control? Even the coaching staff seemed worn out. The Paige Buckers had to physically protect Carrington from cameras. This is damage control, not leadership. Despite public humiliation, Carrington continued to play, despite Coach Kurt Miller's attempts to calm her down, according to reports. adults. While this may indicate deeper emotional problems or immaturity, it still raises the question of how long the WNBA will put up with this, because without a doubt fans are tired of Carrington's antics, which have become a major distraction. They have taken over press conferences, taken over game recaps, and completely eclipsed exceptional performances by players who truly deliver on the court. They are also criticizing the WNBA's leadership, particularly Commissioner Kathy Angelbert, for allowing this behavior to continue.
Let's look at her trying to interrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satou Sabally and Mercury players. Let's look at this nonsense. You guys need to put a stop to this. Y'all need to put a stop to this.
Additionally, there is a blatant double standard in place. If Caitlin Clark or Paige Buchers had approached an opponent's huddle and required physical restraint, it would have been a national scandal, but Carrington does so, and people dismiss it as passion. Inconsistency in treatment not only harms the players, but also destroys the league's reputation. The WNBA must decide now whether to establish clear guidelines for player behavior, regardless of popularity or controversy, or to send the message that bad behavior is profitable. If that occurs, the league runs the risk of alienating the very fans and stars who are supporting it. For instance, Caitlin Clark exemplifies everything that this league should be about: elite skill, leadership, professionalism, and composure. She entered the league with the hopes of millions, but instead of being protected and supported, she has been repeatedly disrespected, fouled, and targeted. Now that the Carrington Sabally drama is getting out of hand, we're witnessing just how low the bar has been set for accountability. The WNBA has the opportunity to change the tone, suspend Carrington,